This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting, proudly sponsored by Air Up. My voice is literally gone. I woke up this morning, I'm barely able to talk. I did about 70 interviews in the last 4 days of the event, so my voice is really out here. But Joe, it's nice to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, buddy. And I see you got a sponsor. Congratulations.
After all this time, I remember talking to you about it, and I was like, Joe, did you know anyone? And then Air Up came in clutch, so shout out to them. But how are you though, Joe? I see you're in Spain, still traveling.
Good,
Every time I interview
good,
you,
good.
you're in a different country.
Yeah, Spain today, heading to Mexico tomorrow, and then I'll be in Mexico for a little bit. And then, yeah, where am I going next? Greece, Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, Dubai. You know, got to make that money, baby.
Is that for work or is that just holiday, pleasure?
No, all work, business.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't really travel much for pleasure, like for long trips. I don't like flying, believe it or not. So although I'm always on a plane. So no, yeah, it's all work, it's all business. We're opening different businesses all over the world. So the boss has got to show up, otherwise it doesn't give a very good impression.
Okay, first impressions are what matter. So I can see where you're coming from.
Exactly.
Let's just go straight into it then, Joe. The fight that happened on the weekend, KSI versus
Yeah.
Tommy Fury. I take it you saw
Mm.
it.
Yeah, I saw clips of all the fights. I didn't actually watch it live at the moment. I watched it kind of the next day. I was entertaining some people here. So yeah, what do you want to know?
Did you think KSI won?
Um, all right. I think it was a close fight. Yeah. I think it just shows how Tommy Fury is. Right. He's just terrible. And he makes all these excuses. He's such a fake guy because whenever he talks, whenever it's like pertaining to him, he's so fake to the public because whenever it's pertaining to him where he can say the right thing to make money, he says like, "Oh yeah, this is changing my family's life one step at a time." What are you on about? Your brother's worth 50 mil. I'm sure you're never going to be poor, right? So he's just saying it, but really, when he had every opportunity to slag me off and talk shit and insult people, he does. So he's a fake guy. He's not a genuine person. It's just all a scam. Same thing with his boxing. It's all a scam. He's all right. Congratulations. You got to remember something. Yeah, I'm 40 years old. Yeah, how old is he? 25, 26. Yeah. When I was his age, I would have destroyed him with an under a round. Like he's not even Southern area title level. Like he's so shit. And it's embarrassing. And to be fair, like to KSI is like you kind of got bullied a bit by like a guy who's just like if you look at like the rounds, like the rounds between me and KSI before the elbow, it wasn't like some mismatch like this is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you look at the first three rounds, he just owned him in every round. Like he did own every first three rounds, but then it's a 6 round fight, and that's just my opinion. So yeah, maybe the last three rounds he may have lost. So maybe KSI didn't win. I think the judges aren't a million miles off. I don't think it's worth an appeal. Like mine was obviously, an appeal that got overturned. But yeah, I just think Tommy's just so shit, and and he can't punch. He can't punch his way out of a brown paper bag. Like he literally's never knocked anyone out in his life.
I guess you say KSI won the first three. So you think KSI won the first three and then Tommy won the last three. But then KSI, then Tommy Fury had the point deduction. I mean, KSI would have nipped it by a point.
I don't think when you say won the first three, yeah, this is how I look at boxing. And like, for example, my fight with KSI, I've run it back. Like I know I could have beat KSI in a round if I had to. My life was dependent. If I had £1 million bonus to knock him out in a round, I probably would have done. Whereas I was just doing essentially a similar strategy to Tommy, which is we know KSI gasses out early. We know he's super explosive, like that kind of very fast twitch personality. So with fighters like that, you just, you weather the storm 2, 3 rounds and you batter him the second round. The difference between me and Tommy Fury is I could punch. So I would have knocked KSI out. You already saw in the second round where I was starting to tag him, starting to get his time in. And I'm 40 years old and I trained for a month. You know what I mean? These 10-week training camps these guys did. I trained for a month and lost 3 stone. That's the level difference between me and these guys. Anyway, so when I say he beat him, yeah, he may have won the first 3 rounds. I'm not saying it was categorical fact. There was 3 knockdowns in 3 rounds. No, it was a points opinion. If you look at the, I don't know if it's real or not. Someone put up they landed the same amount of punches. So what I'm saying is, whether he did or didn't win the round, it's marginal. It's opinion of a judge. It's also very hard when you're a judge and you're sitting ringside and you're a judge and you're sitting on telly watching it. It's different. You know that, right? So I say my opinion is he probably won half the rounds. If he didn't, I wouldn't be surprised either. If it was 4-2, 3-3, 4-2 the other way. But you can't complain about it, how he's done. You can't moan about it. You remember my fight, how many times he hit him in the back of the head? And he was complaining about being hit in the back of the head. And the difference was the PBA took a point off straight away. When like a very sweet bit of karma when I'm sitting here in my palace in Spain and I'm watching it back and I'm thinking to myself, oh, you don't like it when the shoe's on the other foot. You were celebrating. You were doing push-ups in the ring when you knew you'd hit me with an illegal elbow. The most disgusting thing KSI did, and it should be embarrassing, and it's such a bad example, is they used the illegal elbow in the trailer leading up to the fight, like he actually had knocked me out.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Like, it was so terrible. I sent it to Mams. I said, that's a bit of a move, isn't it? Trying to use an illegal elbow. They got officially overturned. It's not like my opinion, right? You know when Chris Eubank Jr. fought Liam Smith in the first fight, there was talks of kind of an elbow in the combination. When he was already hurt, there was talks of an elbow, right? Which was never unfounded. There was never an appeal, was never unmatched. So you can't, so that's fine. I proved it. I went to court, paid thousands of pounds to prove it wrong, and I won. So how can then you use that in a highlight reel? Like, that's a highlight? It's like me, a handball, and then the referee sending me off and I use that as a highlight. Look, I scored a goal with a handball.
Diego Maradona did that, didn't he? Against England all the way back.
Yeah, but wait, the difference between Diego Maradona and what I'm talking about is the referee never found him guilty. Whereas the PBA did find KSI guilty of throwing an illegal elbow and change the result. So that is different.
I saw immediately after it just happened. You put something up in your story, like a whole paragraph. What did you say on there again? I forgot to skim over it before the interview.
No, I said it's very KSI moaning about hitting, losing. This losing. It's a robbery. How do you think I felt, KSI? When you illegally elbowed me, when you got in a bit of trouble, and then you celebrated, and it said, calm as a and it'll come back to bite you in the ass. And I said, the only fight should have been your next fight, should have been a rematch against me. He's so quick to jump, rematch Tommy. Well, hold on a minute. How about my rematch? You see, it's just when it suits you, when it was in your favor, like, Joe was a tough opponent. I got away with this elbow. Let's forget about Joe. Let's sweep him under the carpet because I know that if I fight him again, he's going to smash my head in. Whereas against Tommy Fury, like, yeah, I want a rematch. Why? Because you realize he's shit and he can't do anything. And then I called Tommy a fake because that's what I think he is. I've always said, like, I like his Tyson Fury. I like John Fury. I like the Furies. And I never had a problem with him. You know what I mean? And then he just went on like a crusade, just slagging me off in the last leading up to this fight. When, who the fuck are you? What have you ever done besides go on Love Island and pump up your muscles and do cocaine when you're not training for a fight? And that's all you've ever done in your life. So now you fight these shit YouTubers and you go, yeah, I'm the king. King of what? You're meant to be a professional boxer. You box, you're 6 years old. You're a failed professional boxer that now has to fight YouTubers. Me, I'm a retired guy just having a bit of fun selling out arenas. It's very different. When I was 26, I was trying to win the world title. When you're 26, you're trying to get votes on Love Island. There's a big difference between me and you. So how dare you talk shit to me? You're a boy. I'm a man.
It sounds like you got some beef with Tommy Fury here, Joe. Maybe you got a fight.
I asked to fight him after he beat Jake. I called his team. I spoke to the advisors and I said, listen, I want this fight. I said, I want this fight. Before I even fought KSI, I wanted that fight. Because I'm like, let's just cut to the chase. Let's just get the two guys that are professional boxers that are kind of in this world to just fight each other. And he'd just beaten Jake. I didn't think KSI, would fight me, let alone fight him. So at the time, it was a perfect fight. They didn't even get back to me. And they say, oh, Tommy, like, why would he? Why would KSI fight me? Why would anyone else of the guys have fought me? Why did David Haye fight me? Same reasons, because I sell out arenas, I promote fights well, people know who I am, I'm a household name, and I'm fucking good. And even I'm old, I'm still good.
So the Misses return we did an interview about 2 months ago. This could be it. US Tommy, if they don't make the rematch next.
But I don't think they'll ever put Tommy like they'll just manipulate it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everything is manipulated. Yeah. So they won't give Tommy Fury another pay less is to help KSI because KSI owns the promotion. So the KSI name are going to go, oh, pay Joe millions, pay Tom millions, let them fight each other, and let me sit back and watch. Why would he do that? They're not going to do that. So the chance of me Tommy
do you think they'll do the rematch next, Joe? KSI and Tommy, they'll do that one next.
No, I don't think they'll rematch next, though.
Why not?
I don't think they'll rematch next because there's no value in a rematch. Really, I don't think. I think that KSI could fight Jake. KSI could fight me. There'd probably be a bit more. Because by the way, how boring was the fight? Like I watched the highlights and I nearly fell asleep. I'm like, this is so shit. I thought that Dylan Dennis, let's talk about Dylan Dennis now. How shit is he? Did I tell you how shit he was? Even his punch to try and throw at the security, he couldn't even throw a proper punch. And a guy who doesn't even box. He's just such a bottle job, that guy. And I'm so glad. One person I do have a lot of love for is Logan Paul. I'm so glad Logan Paul, I'm quoted, I'm so glad he beat his ass. I'm so glad he battered him. I'm so glad that he's suing him. I'm so glad. I think his missus is great, right? I think he has a great future wife. I think she's a nice person. I've met her several times in Miami. She's all been very sweet, very nice. I can't believe, if someone had tried to do that to me, mate, I'm not even going to go on record to say what I would have done. But Logan Paul took it like a champ and battered him and just showed how shit he is. I told you how shit he was. Like I called how shit he was on that Twitter thing. Remember, last year in the lead up when he tried to talk to me on Twitter. The guy's the biggest shithouse faker in the world. And he got absolutely battered and embarrassed. Now, Logan, you keep suing him, Logan. Right? Don't just let it go. Now you sue every single his life.
Do you reckon? What did you make of the end of the fight? Well, there's all the security around in the ring. It's kind of like a WWE sort of skit almost.
Yeah, it's just TV. Like we all know Dylan Dennis ain't dangerous in any way. Listen, Dylan Dennis could have a nuclear button and still wouldn't be dangerous. Okay, he's the least dangerous guy in any form of anything in the world. Like legit, he legit could have a gun to my head. I'd start laughing. I mean, that makes stop it.
Dylan Dennis got a nuclear button. That's quite a funny statement.
Yeah.
I forgot about your beef with Dylan Dennis. That was up to the fight with.
It's not even a beef. He's a relevant little toe rag. He's irrelevant. He's not even. There's no beef. Beef is when I actually don't like you. He's not even anything to me. He's just like no one. He got paid a few $100,000 to go embarrass himself, making great sales for DAZN, I'm sure, with all the tweeting he did, right? And then he's just got used and now thrown away to the garbage. And you'll never see him in a ring again unless it's another fucking stupid, exhibition, fake something. He's not a real fighter. He's a joke. So Logan, congratulations.
So I think we'll see Dylan Dennis on Misfits again.
Nah. He can't fight. So unless they do, I don't know, a pillow competition, maybe. And they turn it into any form of he was shitting himself.
Well, Conor McGregor was meant to be there as well on Fight Night. He didn't turn up.
Of course he didn't, because he knows how shit he is. He's like, I'm not going to go and watch this idiot show up to this thing. Are you mad? Conor McGregor sitting on a few $100 million, drinking a bit of Irish stout, and he's thinking, fuck that. He's a loyal guy, Conor McGregor, so obviously he's going to have his boys back because he has to, but really and truly, he's so shit. Oh, I wish someone would have let me fight him. Oh, they just cleaned him out so bad. Oh, shit. But
that seems to have really cheered you up, Joe.
Yeah, it has. It has. It made me laugh. Just watching it, I was thinking, nah, like it's like he's never boxed before. It's literally like you just took him straight out of a pub and were like, all right, here you go, here's some gloves. Crack on.
Well, I
Like
guess he was
even
part
like
of the
guys
jiu-jitsu
with
world, but
combat
then I don't think he trained.
experience.
I don't think he trained too much boxing in the lead up. I'm not too sure.
I mean, look, dude, like I know like Fred, you'd beat him up, right? And I've met you, Fred. I wouldn't say you're like some dangerous, street fighter guy. You're like you're a very smart tech wizard, journalist. And if though you fought, I'd put all my life savings on you beating him out, beating up Fred. That's the next Misfit fight. Fred Beck versus Dylan Dennis. Then managed by Joe Fournier.
Oh, being managed by Joe Fournier, so Joe can take his nice 10%, a 10% cut.
20%, baby. What do you think I am? I work for free.
Just moving down the card. Did you see any other fights? Slim Soul Pappy. That was a very good fight.
I just saw the just like I said, I just saw the highlights of most of the fights. I saw Slim, yeah, with that big shot off the ropes, and yeah, just kind of finished that off. I wonder if Salt Pappy had lost too much weight. He seemed a bit underpowered. Usually when he's throwing punches like that, he makes a bit of a dent in the guys. I think maybe he's just gone too many weight divisions down. And then yeah, like I said, I think it's karma for KSI. He's got to really think what he's doing next. And like I said, that awkward thing, it only takes a few minutes, a few rounds to get the timing. And if I had been fighting regularly, then it would have been a much faster timing, and I would have knocked him out. That's why I wanted the rematch so bad.
Did you rate JD's performance, Joe? Did you rate JD's performance though?
Come on, friend. You're asking me a question when you know it was the shittest fight you've ever seen on television. Like, I mean, come on. Like, how bad was it? Like, I woke up in the morning before I watched it, and all my internet feed was like memes of how bad it was. Like of him skipping up and down and hugging, skipping up and down and hugging. And like I've always said, I genuinely believe, and I genuinely believe to the lead up of the fight and to everything going on KSI is a nice guy. JJ's a nice bloke. I've always said that. It was only since after the fight how he turned to try and media shit that created towards me when I was a bit like, maybe he isn't a nice guy. And if you just peel back the layers a second, he's a guy that's improved a lot and fought this awkward thing. But you're taking steps to fight people likes of, professional people. I wouldn't really call Tommy Fury a professional boxer, to be honest with you, after that performance. And I feel like he's hit his limit. He's peaked. That's where he's at. He's 30 years old. He's peaked. Remember, when I was 30 years old, I won the WBA international title. When he's 30 years old, he had a life or death with Tommy Fury and lost on points. So I think that he's peaked to his skill set. I'm not talking bad, because that's a great thing what he's done. He's made millions of pounds. He's created a great promotion. He's put his mates on. He's done all those good things. But one thing about like boxing integrity is, even if you look at the greats, yeah, you look at the people that are great, and they all did face and answer questions, right? So you look at like Canelo, he lost, yeah, to Bivol, but he still wants the rematch, right? Whether he does it or not, I don't know. But like people, when you get disqualified for an illegal elbow, the first thing you should do is call your manager or call Mams and say, Mams, I got to run this back with Joe, because it's going to be tarnished on my career for my whole career. I've still never managed to beat him. I took all this big shit that I was going to do, didn't do any of it, and I got to fight him again. Not, oh, fuck, let's sweep that one under the carpet. And how they did that, even from after the fight in the press conference, they didn't even let me go to the press conference. No one asked me for my bit, because they just wanted to make it like disappear as quick as possible. They didn't think I would stand up for myself and go and sue the PBA and ask and appeal the decision and win. So do I think KSI's performance was good? Of course not. It wasn't. I know you can't say that because you want access to all the Misfits live, but it was the shittest performance I've ever seen in a boxing ring from both of them. It was so boring. Like, that's why go on the internet, go on your explore page, see how many memes there are taking the piss.
Grown into quite a tech wizard over the last few interviews, Joe. The start was like, I don't know what my phone is, and now it's like, Fred, is Google, is Instagram, there's always apps I can use.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm getting good on Instagram now. So I looked at that and I called him out. I said, "You're a fake Tommy Fury. You should have fought me anyway." Because it's one. Let me tell you something. If I'm going to slag you off, right? So I slagged off Dennis. I'd sign the contract, right? So if you're going to trash talk someone, fight them. You can't just trash talk and run away. And that's the thing that I find hilarious is you're going to use an illegal elbow in the trailer to your fight like you actually did something. Well, then why wasn't there a rematch? Tommy, you're going to go and trash talk me to use me as publicity to your next fight. Why aren't you fighting me when I asked to fight you? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Is they're all just talk to the camera. They're all media trained to the camera, but then they're not real men. They ain't got any balls. They ain't got any bottle to actually go, all right, well, let's run it back. I'm still undefeated. None of these guys have beat me. I fought the owner of the promotion. I'm still undefeated. Is that a fact, Fred? Am I undefeated still?
Yes, especially after Misfits is now pro sanctioned as well on BoxRec. So yes, you are undefeated.
Okay, there we have it. So I'm officially undefeated. The same people the PBA, the same commission that he just lost on, right? With his judges when he's their only client. Yeah. So explain why there is no rematch, Fred?
I reckon they might run the rematch, or they might do the Jake Paul fight. It's one of two reasons. They do the rematch of Tommy or do the Jake Paul fight. I'm not sure.
But where was my rematch when I was never beaten? There's still not an outcome of that fight.
I'm not a promoter. I'm just an interviewer. And it's a nice little humble interviewer who's lost his voice.
No, but I'm asking your opinion.
Maybe they thought it wasn't worth their time to do a rematch. I'm not sure.
But why was it not worth the time?
Joe, you're going to try and get me in trouble here, man.
No,
I think in their decision, they wanted the Tommy. They did the Tommy Fury fight straight after your fight because he faced off in the ring, and they probably thought it's more money to, I guess, gain from the Tommy Fury fight.
Okay, but if it sold 360,000 buys, that's a lot of money, Fred.
So is a million buys there as well.
Right, 1 million. Is that what this did? 1 million buys?
I reckon so, yeah.
Okay, so 1 million buys, but wait a second. You just had to pay Logan Paul that took the majority of that 1 million buys. So if it was a 60-40 split, yeah, and Tommy Fury apparently got paid millions. I don't. Do you know what he got paid? Did it get announced?
No, it hasn't come out yet. Rumors will come out, but no one ever knows the specifics.
Okay, so he got paid because he got paid millions. So your cost of that show was 10 times more. Whereas it was me and KSI at Wembley, and there was no undercard, basically. Right? So 360,000 buys, your actual net profit, you would have made more money fighting me on a rematch. Facts.
It's a prime card. I'm not too sure, Joe. This was a big card, 1 million pay-per-view buys. This was huge.
Yeah, but you've got to split. The difference is when Logan Paul comes into the picture, remember, there's KSI here and there's Logan Paul here. There's a difference. There's levels to this. Same with their drink prime. You know, the majority shareholders, Logan Paul. So when Logan was fighting on a prime card, you think he's just going to come and just take a purse? No, he's taking a cut of the whole thing. So they'll probably have a 60-40 split in Logan's favor, right? So that if you did 1 million buys, what's left for KSI is 400,000 buys. Then you're paying Tommy Fury 4 times more than what I got paid, or 5 times, whatever. I don't know what the numbers are, right? So then what's your net profit? Way less.
You also got the prime drink sponsoring the event. You got Steak. You got a number of sponsors as well, who I'm sure are paying a healthy amount of money.
Have those same. They all have those same sponsors.
But do you think the rematch is next for you, or do you think it'll be a new fighter coming into Misfits, like a Tyron Woodley or another fighter, another kind of ex-UFC guy, a big name?
Like I said, I'm retired as far as I'm concerned. I chilling. I run my company. It makes me a lot more money than all this stuff. So I do it when it's like an iconic big fight. You know, Logan Paul. I'd fight Logan Paul next. I like him, So it'll be an interesting fight. I think he's probably one of the better fighters on that whole scene now. You saw how he was very composed against Dylan Dennis. He did a great job. He's always in great shape, and he's a big star. So yeah, that would be a great and interesting fight for me if he'd be down to fight. They asked me to be the alternate actually if Dylan Dennis pulls out for this one for Logan. So I know he's interested in fighting me. So that'd be a fun fight. Obviously, the JJ rematch would be interesting.
Have a second. I got a good one for you. What about Mike Perry?
Mike Platinum Perry. Are you mad? Have you seen that guy? That is one dangerous man. Like my mate's Luke Rockhold. You see what he did to his teeth? He smashed his teeth in half. My mates own BKFC. Triller owns BKFC, the promotion I own. I thought David on. They've already asked me that question. I'm like, listen, make sure there's a lot of zeros because that guy punches like a mule and he's one hard bastard. Now, with gloves on, it could be a different story. And would I fight him with boxing gloves on? Yes. But are you talking about bare knuckle or are you talking about...
No, on Misfits, on Misfits.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, with gloves on, I'd fight anyone. But yeah, I thought you were saying about fighting him with his bare knuckle.
No. Bare knuckle was a little bit too far. He did make me laugh. I do like Mike Perry because he made me laugh when he was sitting in the press conference and he just looked so angry the whole time. And then immediately comes off the press conference and he's a really nice guy. I was like, yeah, Mike's like, hi, Fred. How are you? It's like, okay, nice. That's quite a friendly guy, but he seems so angry.
Nah, he's a bad man. He's one bad man, that guy. You want to be really committed if you want to fight him. So either there's a lot of money or there's a huge show because just fighting him for the sake of it is like there's better things to do in life.
He'll definitely fight Misfits though because he's a funny character. Him and Darren Till will be quite a good fight. I know Darren was there on the weekend as well.
Yeah, Darren Till's a nice guy too. They're both a bit mental. It'll be actually quite a funny fight. I think with gloves on, I think Darren Till wins. I think without gloves on, I think no one beats Mike Perry. Because, by the way, Luke Rockhold's a great boxer. Like, he really knows what he's doing. And just the way he just walked straight through him and just smashed his head in, it was like...
Yeah. Yeah, and do you think...
So I think Logan Paul would be fight next. He doesn't have anyone to fight next. I think JJ rematch. I think Jake, if he doesn't have an opponent ready. I think just those guys, really. There is no one that's too exciting. Tyron Woodley, I don't think he'll fight for the money that Misfits would pay him. And I don't think there wouldn't be enough budget to pay both of us. So for us to fight, money would have to come out of somewhere. Does that make sense? Because also one thing for me is when I fought KSI, I lost money, right? I lost loads of money fighting KSI because I had to train and not focus on my business. That's why my camps were so short. Because if I train for 3 months, I lose this much money. If I train for a month, I lose that much money. And what these guys can afford to pay me doesn't cut it. So unless it's a huge show or a huge thing, like I said, I got nothing to prove. My peak was 15 years ago. I'm fighting for fun and I'm interested. And I'm still better than these guys even at this age. But, it needs to be interesting to bring me back out of retirement and make me train again. Because I got, why would I do it unless it's interesting and it's good banter? Or I would fight Dylan Dennis just so I could smash his head in again, that little weasel.
Well, the good thing about you, Joe, is you can sell a fight and you do make a lot of people laugh. So I know when you called Base Temp the Call of Duty World Champion, now I'm viral on TikTok. You know a lot about TikTok, so now you know about your tech stuff. I mean, I think you're quite a good trash talker. I think you will fight again. How many times you say, "Oh, I only fight this person"? I reckon you'll fight in the next year. I reckon it'll be someone. Be a big name, don't get me wrong, but I reckon you'll fight. Yeah. Hopefully, Misfits can do a Miami card. They just got sanctioned in Vegas as well, so it'll be a Vegas card hopefully next year, which is exciting. But anything else?
Yeah, it's cool because just like congratulations to everyone that won. And they've got to have a bit more integrity. You're going to trash talk people, be ready to fight them. Tommy Fury, don't just trash talk, and then talk about changing your family's life. You insult people, you just such a manipulated trash talker. And KSI.
Did you like their event over the
KSI?
Their event, Joe, was very good.
Yeah, man, listen, out of all these people, Mams is one smart man. He made a lot of money before he even knew who KSI was. So he knows what he's doing. He's a smart guy. He's a nice guy. He's a genuine guy. And good things come to that. So when he puts on a show, and Sauerland, obviously he's a legend in boxing, the Sauerland brothers. They have been around. His dad, was like a real legend in boxing for years. So you got a good team. You know, KSI's got a great team around him that Mam's put together, and I think that they're always going to succeed. The Misfits is going to do well. It's a good promotion. I think Mams is a very very smart man. He's a humble man because he's done it and he's lost it and he's made it back. You know, so you do have that like loyalty and genuinely, you know, the relationships are important. So Misfits will always do well. I'm not mad at Misfits in any way. Um, like I said, I just think KSI calm as a. You should have run the rematch back. You know, you should have, because that's the thing you need to learn is if you have integrity, when the shoe's on the other foot, it will come in your favor. When you don't have integrity, I think the PBA, you're gonna hear it here first. I think the PBA felt so bad for up and being seen as corrupt for the referee being 1 foot away and not seeing that elbow when the whole world saw it, right? That they had to make up for the last fight to look fair and were maybe more in favor of the opponent. I think he shot himself in his own foot.
I would love to interview.
I think if it wasn't for my fight, Tommy Fury would have lost.
Really?
Yeah. I think if it wasn't for my fight, the PBA wouldn't have gone out of their way to look like they're not favoring KSI, which is what they did in a massive way against me. I mean, how many? Run back the video. Run back the video. How many times I get hit in the back of the head from KSI in my fights? 5, 6. How many times did KSI get hit in the back of the head before they docked the point? Once. Right. So everything that they did wrong in the last fight against me, which was a total sham, they did the opposite this time. Because they have to be seen as integral if you're going to take on the British Boxing Board and be known as a professional boxing commission.
Okay.
So if it wasn't for my fight and them knowing they did me dirty, they would have just given the points to. And that was probably what KSI was banking on because that style he had no zero effort to try and win the fight. He will just get the points. I own the PBA, and clearly they had different ideas.
I mean, it's an interesting opinion as always, Joe. I'm sure I'll catch you in about a month's time when you're in another fancy pants, different country, handling some sort of business. I would like to see you back on Misfits, hopefully 2024, maybe summertime, if they do a summer event like Ibiza or a kind of a party city, was a nightclub like Ibiza, Miami, maybe even Vegas would be quite cool. But yeah, I do appreciate you coming on the channel. I'm sure people will be talking about this.
I just want to say one thing. So FaZe Temper is the Call of Duty world champion. But I wonder what KSI's DMs look like after the girls have now seen his cuddling skills. I think KSI is the cuddling world champion after all his cuddling of Tommy Fury. He really wanted to get close to those pectorials, didn't he? I mean, I've never seen so many clinches in a boxing fight in the history of boxing.
Well, I don't know how to follow that up because I was going to stay non-biased, but I guess that is why you're well known, Joe. That's why that clip will now go viral on Twitter when Simon Scrooge calls it.
The cuddling world champion, KSI, baby.
Joe, I do appreciate you coming on the channel. I'm sure we'll catch you very, very soon.
All right. See you later.